we are on episode 26 of this, and we are going to just jump right in because I want to get this show going on the road. With the we're very close to finishing building improvements on our counties. So I'm gonna run this real quick. Let's maximize it. And we're going to make sure this works. Buildings, if we pick the Fisher Shack, it shows the correct Fisher Shack stuff. If we click Forest Shack stuff. And if we click this past 3, it says you don't have enough idle workers. It's getting that from this list. And if you hit well, let's go down. If you hit max, it maxes out as many idle workers as you have. And that's currently, we need to put this, and that's what I was doing a second ago. I was streaming, having some streaming issues, of course. Let me pull up I just checked twice and I went away from it. Let's pull this up and let's move this to our project, and let's get the project up. What we're going to do we'll put it in here anyways. This is going to be add influence to cost. Once again, I don't know how to spell influence. It looks like I spelled it that way there. In building panel. We'll put this up above this line. Next round is the next time we come around to this. We'll convert this to an issue, and we'll put this somewhere towards the top. And I actually wanted to do this pause thing real quick because it's only going to take a second. So might as well let's do that first. And what I mean by that pause thing is that when you open this up, it pauses fine there, but if you have it paused already, it unpauses it when you open. So this should be, unless it's more complicated than I thought, or think, I mean, on enable, this is the UI building panel. I believe this is the correct one. I'm almost positive. I do very little before I start streaming, I do very little like pre-setup. I just like jump into it. And probably, actually, can we put that in the timekeeper thing? I don't think we can because it's pausing and unpausing. I was just thinking maybe we want this actually in the timekeeper script. There might be an easier way to do this. The other thing I was thinking about was a Unity event to do it. Like if this thing turns on, do this thing, but I'm not sure that will work. Let me look at this. It's way down at the bottom here. If it's greater than 0, this goes to that else. If it's greater than 0, that's pausing it. And this is unpausing it. And the fuck is this? Oh, this is getter setter. I was like, what the? And I don't. We should probably go back through this and redo this a little bit. Timescale equals modified timescale. So on set, it's setting this value to the timescale, and it's printing this text. Oh no, it's changing the text at the top. If time is equal, it sets this pause thing true and false. This should probably be set to change to an event. Change this to an event. So let's see if this is, no, see, that wouldn't work. I was thinking if this is 0, we can pop up that thing, but it's the other way around. We want this to happen when that thing pops up. Does this happen? So let's do it this way. Let's just throw this in here real quick. Let's put probably. We're gonna have to rewrite a lot of our code over the years as we work on this project. We're gonna find old code and we're gonna go like, oh fuck, this sucks, and we're gonna rewrite it. So right now we can kick a bunch of stuff down the road. Eventually we're gonna have to stop doing that, and probably when I say eventually, once we get round 1 finished. Round 1 is the game will be 100% playable. I'm putting in air quotes, 100% playable, but it would be the worst game ever made. So we need to go to this building panel description, and just this will solve the problem, I'm pretty sure. If time, what is that shit called? We're just looking at it and I already forgot. It's called time dot, no, it's called time dot time scale. Time dot time scale is not equal to 0. If so, so this is going to be like, if it's not already paused, then pause it on enable. And that should solve the problem according to my mental thoughts while I was falling asleep last night. Like I said, I was also thinking about a Unity event of some sort. Let's just click on this thing and this thing. Well, that doesn't test it. Let's pause it. Click on this thing. Yeah, it's still unpaused. And now it's back again. Probably. Well, that's good enough for now. That's all we care about for now. A lot of this stuff is like, do we want this to work this way? Like, what way would we want the player to do it? You know what I mean? Like, do we, like, there's so many choices for how the player does it. And the other game that I fucked around with for a while, are you going to close? The other game that I fucked around with for a while, I started putting together this, like, options page where I just had, like, all of these options for the player to choose between, and it was getting, like, extremely insane. I had probably, like, 30 options altogether, including dev options. And I was like barely started with the game. So we might do something like that, but it would be pretty pretty intense. Remember back in the day, like, it may still do it with CK3, but in CK2 you can modify, in EU4 you can modify like how everything pops up. Same with like Distant Worlds 2, you can modify all these settings. That's a similar thing as what I was kind of going for. It wasn't on purpose. It just, I couldn't decide what the player would want to do. Now for the next part. The next part is, let's hit play on this again, because that seems to have fixed that quick easy fix there for our afternoon. I woke up from a nap too and then started streaming. That's not what we wanted to check. Oh, I bet you this one doesn't work either. Yeah, that kicks off the. Let's fix that while we're here. If time scale is not equal to 0, then unpause it. This might have some other catastrophic issue later, but right now it's fine. One less thing to fuck around with. All right, play one more time here. This is the final play. Kidding, of course. Oh, I don't have any music on. I really wish that you guys could listen to my music with me. Okay, so this all works. So you can't go down below 0. So the next thing we're going to do is this build button. And are you sure you want to build? You know, I kind of want to fix this other thing now. This thing first. Because it's just annoying me. Where the fuck was that, though? That is under... kind of all over the place here. That is under building description panel. This might actually should be its own thing. Why is it a child of that one? I don't think this should be a child. This is probably a mistake. I don't think this should be a child. I think it should be, whatchamacallit. I don't know why I sometimes struggle to get these to, like, see how this one goes over? But I want it underneath this one. Because I think this is going to access it too. It's just going to be a slightly different panel. It's just going to have, like, you're not going to be able to interact with stuff. So I think that, well, let's hit play and see what I just cut. What kind of pure fucking chaos I caused by doing that. We don't have any bugs yet. It seems to be okay. All right, let's save that so that no fuck ups happen. Just thinking. Okay, so if that, what were we working on? What was I saying we needed to do next? I was like, oh, we wanted to put the cost in. So the underneath cost, we have, where is this thing? It's going to be this one right here, which is the same thing we are already working on. Current employee refresh. This is going, we want to do the panel refresh, and this is saying current influence cost goes to here. So we actually want this to go, what we can do here is, wrong button again. Let's actually stick it, let's actually stick it at the end. So this is gonna have a squig, another squig, influence. I guess that should be a capital. This is just like a temporary thing where we're only looking for influence. Eventually, we're gonna want wood and stuff. It's just to make sure everything works. So we want to get everything working, like the basics of everything working before we have any craziness. So let's just make sure that yeah, 500 influence. Perfect. See, we're fixing shit so fast. I didn't really like that. Do you see what it did? If I click this possible buildings, this stays open. I don't really like that. Let's fix it real quick as well. It's actually this button. Did we move it? How did we make this thing? I thought I made a duplicate of it. Here it is. We can just set it inactive. Man, it's weird. It's weird. So I have whatever 75 hours of this streaming, which is all of the um this game's creation, and it's pretty much the only one I've been working on. And it's interesting to see how much even in that amount of time, I don't like watch my old videos, but I glance at them occasionally at like certain stuff if I see something weird going on or whatnot. And I also looked at some of my old code, and it's so weird how much, just like thinking back, it's so much has changed just in 3 months or whatever. I've done this for 75 hours. Isn't that long? That's like 2 weeks of a full-time job, you know? It's weird. So anyways, that is done. We're really knocking the shit out of the park today here. Because we had two really basic things. I like to have things that I can check off. It's kind of a bummer for my Discord group though. I was trying to pop this open here because on my Discord group it automatically sends that to one of the channels. Luckily they can just no, luckily they can just mute that channel because I also have like a video game streaming channel. Okay, so when basically after that's all the thing that we looked at Let's do this one more time. I know. We'll maximize it this time. Well, no, we don't need to maximize it. You can see this little shit down here. Okay, so once they know how many employees and it's one, they're gonna click this building button. Or, it doesn't have to be one. And then when they hit yes right here is when it's going to do it's going to change some stuff. So that's going to be on this button right here. And it looks like we already have this attached. And it's called UI Building Confirmation Yes button. And that would be this thing that we were looking at here. And this is firing an event. And so this is where we stopped last time, I remember now. On this event, it needs to do certain stuff. The first one it's got to do, it's got to interact with things. It's got we need people to subscribe, not people. We need code to subscribe to this event. So first thing it should do is probably actually move the list. Do we want this to be in another? Do we want other scripts of subscribing to this? Events currently, they're always saying like you should have it try to have it as little entwined as possible here. So the list that we're interacting with is in world map load, and there's actually I almost feel like, yeah, it's this possible building and current building. World map load is like what happens at the beginning when the scene loads, and then it holds on to a bunch of the lists and stuff. But I almost feel like we should bust it in two. You have the world map load, and then something else holds the list. But we'll fuck with that later. So we need world map load then to subscribe. I don't think it's gonna work though. On start, we can have it subscribe. It never turns off. It never becomes disabled. I mean, it shouldn't. So what we'll do is on here, we'll have it, what is the name of that? We don't need this timekeeper one anymore. Not up, at least. That is UI building confirm. Do we have any? Oh, we don't have an instance yet. And then public static UI building confirmed instance, and then instance in awake instance equals this. There we go. Then back to here. I'm wondering if I'm going a little crazy with the events, because I just learned how to do events. So I've noticed in the past that I start going a little crazy with something new that I've learned. We'll call this move building current building, because a lot of stuff is going to go down here. So if this thing happens, this is going to happen. And it does decouple, as they always say. So we're going to. Are we going to make a copy of it? Let's start with something simpler. Let's start with something simpler to make sure this works. Let's also, we're going to need this other thing open here. This is still running in the background. We're going to need this other thing open. Oh, my scene's different too. Something weird happened. I was looking at this earlier and I was like, this looks different than I'm used to. It's weird, like, get in here. I like my stats in a different spot. Well, I can't see. I'll fix it later. Um, it's because I switched that YouTube thing. Jesus, that really fucked me. All right. Why was I looking over here? What the fuck was I doing? It's one of those days. Oh, we need to look at current building, which I used to call this public class. Well, I guess we can leave this as public classes. Current building. You know what we need in here, though? This is going to be almost identical to this one. Let's put this over next to each other. Uh, oh, I know what I was doing. Okay, so this is days to build is on here. The cost doesn't matter because it's already going to be taken off. Oh, and well, what happens if you destroy the building? You don't get the influence back. You would get the materials back. You wouldn't get the influence back. Let's put that over here. Destroy building. Get the materials back, but not the influence. Or gold or money. I keep calling it gold, but it's more probably going to be some sort of other money, bottle caps or some shit. Change the idle worker's next day activity to building. Why did I jump? I jumped ahead on our list. Let's do that one first. Where is this thing? Where does this thing live? It's probably world map load as well. I mean, that's where it should live. It's right here. I love how I sit in silence so much. Just like, what am I doing? It's I gotta make I gotta think. I gotta think. Okay, so we're actually gonna need this again. We want a second thing, which is actually gonna be the first thing here. Um, this is going to fire off. Put population to work. That's what it's gonna be called. Like literally, it's putting them to work. No, that's a dumb name. I suddenly just set next day job. That's what we're gonna call it. Okay, so we have, and you know what? I'm actually gonna do an on disable. This shouldn't ever be disabled, but just in case, like at the end of the day, or at the end of the day, at the end of when the who knows? We might have a new scene that they go to or something, and it's easier to do it now than later. And we'll stick this at the bottom of these two things that we know are going to be fired. Let's do this though before we get too carried away. Let's hit play and see what happens because we were having some issues with like that. What is going on here? Oh, this is from the order of things. They couldn't subscribe on start or on awake. Let's see right now. Yeah, so this is going to be the issue, and this is happening. See, these things can't subscribe when this thing hasn't. And it's a huge issue with events. I don't know how, where was that? Where did we put that? Building confirmed? And we put this in here. Yeah, so they can't subscribe until this thing turns on, uh, which makes these events nearly useless because this thing doesn't get kicked on until uh, till later. I mean, I guess we could rearrange where this goes, but once again, if we rearrange where this goes, then what's the fucking point of having it like things attached to their buttons? Like, so here's where this thing lives. It's right here. We could easily put this up on the controller, but then what's the fucking point of having this? Somebody tell me this, because it's baffled me since we started running into this issue where events are nearly useless because you can't have them down here. Please tell me in the comments or in chat. Be like, look, this is how you got to do it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we can put it up here on this controller. We can do that. We can do that right now, and then it's going to work. But once again, why have a thing here? Why have this? Like, it seems like they always, all the tutorials and stuff, they like attach it to the button and stuff, and it's like, and then like, sure, it's a different script, but why not just have a big giant script? You know what I mean? Like, why have it? See, that should have solved our issue, and I think it did. And then we hit build here, and then yes. It's weird having it on that yes button instead of like on a triggered by the yes button, that is, instead of by the build button. But that's where it needs to be. Okay, so we're going to do that even though it makes no sense to me. So what's going to happen though is this controller is going to have like 60,000 fucking scripts on it, and they're just going to have different names. It's like I said, what's the fucking point? Why not just have one giant script? Is it easier to find the little scripts? I know they're called mono behaviors. Maybe that's the whole point, is it's easier to find them. If that's the case, I'm gonna have to change how my whole thought process is, because I always attach them to the thing that they're interacting with, But whatever, we will just, because otherwise we're gonna be stuck and be fucking around for 2 more hours, and I don't want to fuck around for 2 more hours on that. Like I've been over and over. I've tried to fix in my mind how that works, and it's just easier. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I'm missing another fundamental thing, but we'll know soon enough. If it seems like I'm shouting, it's because I have music blasting in my ear right now. Now, back to what we were doing. So, world map load, wherever you are. I lost you. There we go. Set next day job. So what it's going to do is it's going to go through the population list, county population for the currently selected county, and then it's going to equal 0. This is going to be a for loop. Why am I just clicking this over and over again? I'm forgetting how this works. Currently selected. Generate population, county population dictionary. This adds to the dictionary list a new person. Oh, it's called County Population Dictionary? Well, what's county population then? That is the name of... is my brain has stopped working. Well, their name would be in here. What is going on? Initialize it. These are so worthless. Let's say what this is, which is a list of each which is a dictionary which for each county that holds a list of their population. So it should be like Cowlitz, and then Cowlitz 0 is, yeah, and the county population is the, okay, my brain has started to rework. County population dictionary. I have a capital C here. That would be the issue. No, we have other issues with my life. My life is trash. Oh, you can't just say that. Let's do this. Let's write this as the for loop that it should be. For int I is less than. Now this is where it gets tricky. We need to access another script here. We need to access another script, and we're not supposed to do that. We're just gonna read from it. It's not world map load. It's building checker, I'm pretty sure. We didn't make this we didn't do anything with this. There's no instance of this or anything. We need to know how many unemployed people. No. I don't know if we can break this apart. Where does this list live with our buildings? Does it live here? It does. Okay, so we need to, so at this point it should have checked and you shouldn't be able to push. Actually, wait. I think you can still push if it's, I think we forgot one thing. In fact, I'm almost positive we forgot one thing. When I say we, I mean me. You can still push this and it goes to here. This shouldn't be enabled until you have like until you have some population, and it also needs to check to make sure, it needs to check to make sure you have the influence. So I forgot that step. So that's going to be on the building checker. We didn't even check to see if it had check enough population. We're subscribing all of this list. So we subscribed all. So this is another weird thing. I'm not sure if this is done correctly. It's going to go through all of the possibilities of. I just thought of another way to do this. All that, and I just thought of another way to do that. When is the building checker fired? So currently it goes through all the lists and subscribes to them. And, there's only like, 3 or 4 of them right now. We could set it. Let's leave it like that. I don't think it matters that much. I mean, maybe it matters a lot. But let's rename this to check population resources. Unless, I wonder, can you have it do, well, we could put 2 things inside of here, a method inside a method. But I think we'll just go through this first. And we'll also, let's put a variable at the top up here that is called private bool. I think this is going to eventually need to be public, but let's just start it as private. Population, I don't want to say enough, we'll call it enough population. And then on enable, we'll make sure that enough population equals false. And then on disable, we don't give a fuck. Maybe we do give a fuck. We can get rid of this debug log thing. Whoops. and we can say enough population equals true. So basically, there's enough population. This thing checks, hey, there's enough population. And then the next thing it will check is there enough resources? So it's going to say if we don't need any of these. We need this thing, and we're gonna put it in here, and we called it influence cost is less than or equal to. See, this is the thing I'm still confused about here. These are intertwined because it's reading this stuff. Does it matter? I don't know what list we put this stuff in. I can't remember. Like, how can you unentwine stuff when it's reading variables all the time from all these different places? We wanted, is it factions that has the faction? Yeah, it's factions. So where was I? Go back to here. It's called factions. It's double checking. Factions dot player. This is also in here. Oh, instant. Oh, I'm forgetting instance all over the place. Player faction. This is going to be like your player faction, and right now it's just like a holding thing. But when we create characters and have multiplayer, right now it's just player faction. You can look at your own faction. What am I doing? No, this was right. This was right. Influence was right. If the cost is less than or equal to the influence, I don't know why this thing's mad at me. String. This is a string, though. This isn't a dictionary. This is a whatchamacallit. This is a list, isn't it? Going back, yes, it's just a list. I think the player faction is always 0, but I don't want to hard code that in, We could. Where is this? This is at the build stage. Where? Let's look for something here. Yeah, that's just gonna put the name in there, and it is 0. Faction name and color is 0. We could. How was I doing this before? I guess I've done this. If faction. It's never asked before. We've never had this come up. This is why I do the little bits at a time. I don't think we ever assign. How the fuck did we change create army? When did we do that? That worries me. Let's just close that. I was thinking we could do a player faction ID. Let's go back to what we're looking at here. I think I'm doing something dumb. I'm not doing something dumb. I don't even think we're assigning any. Let's look. This is one of the few places I'm doing this over here because it's not the end of the world if it dies. we're doing it right here. So I guess we are just hard coding that shit in right now. All right, so let's start doing this new thing that I thought of. I want to start having a new column, and we're gonna for each like section of the game. Actually, for this, let's not do it for this thing. That's such a weird small thing. We're gonna put this in notes, I think. You know, it's such a weird thing because we don't have any multiplayer so far off. It's always going to be 0, so that's fine. What happens if the AI is trying to do something though? Well, the AI is not going to be looking at the UI. So okay, let's just do it this way. So if the influence cost is less than or equal to the faction influence, then we're gonna have another one of these things. Yeah, these have to be public. Then we're gonna have enough influence, and we're gonna have to set this a totally different way later. Equals true. Else we'll turn on this same thing, but we're not gonna. Are employees a resource? I think employees are a resource, so we're just gonna call this enough resources. We're going to call this a not enough resources panel. And then we're going to go back up into here, and that may have broke something. I bet you that broke something because we changed the name of a variable, which I like to do all the time. Where was that thing? Set this active, jump me to the top. Oh, it's a private game object, serialized field, and building checker, which was, oh, we had to like move it someplace because it didn't work. I think we had to put it up here. Okay, I guess not. Top info box, somewhere weird like that. Building checker. Oh, it didn't break. Something didn't save. Okay, so we did fuck up something over here. And I can't control Z it. What is this? Oh. And we got like another. Man, that's like the first time that's happened to me. I'm surprised. Okay, now this should be broken. This is the not enough resources panel. Capital P. Sure, I don't know. That's up here. And this is public because these are going to get interacted with by other people. So once again, like even trying to decouple the scripts, I'm not sure. Well, they're not going to get interacted with. They're going to be read only, but I guess it will tell me if that's what we want to do. I'm having all sorts of minor difficulties with just me being like clicking on stuff that's unnecessary. We don't need hero open right now. Create army can go away again. Select county, I'm almost positive it can go away. All text, go away. I like to try to keep, like, when there's so many things open all the time. Okay, not enough resource panel. Let's fix what that thing says, though. It probably says, like, not enough workers. Enough resources text. You didn't have enough idle workers or resources. Got 2 periods in there. Okay, then back to this. So this is going to say, hey, there's enough population, so we need another statement. This is kind of interesting. I'd like to have this. We can just say is greater than. I'd rather have this. What I'm talking about here is I'd rather have these match up. This may sound weird, but if I have the else be this thing and then this thing, you know what I mean? Like it seems like this one has the else is the good one, and this is the else is the good one. Better than having them opposite. It just seems like that's what we would want to do here. Influence cost is greater than the faction's influence, then there's not enough resources. Interpolation can be simplified. What? How? Oh, yes, you are right. I was like, what is it talking about? Okay. I've been saying okay a lot as well. Now we have to test this. We always got to test everything. Everything must be tested. So now if we click this, we click this, and we click this. So you have to add an employee, and that's when this stuff's getting tested. You have to click one of these. You have to. You have no choice. Where did we stick building checker? All right, so enough population and enough influence is checked because both of those have happened. So if that's the case, I don't want to do that in update. If that's the case, though, you know what we could do? My music just stopped. Why? Why does it do this only when I'm streaming? The build button, building the build button. Where's my build button? This is just an empty thing. Once again, like, so I don't like the events make sense to me like for some stuff, but for other things, it does not make sense to me because this is still going to be interacting with that script. It's going to be reading this these variables. I guess they could be firing off an event, but then we would have to subscribe to both those events because they're going to be two different events. One to say one thing works and one to say the other thing works, wherever that is. I'm gonna have to like start. I just got to get used to it, I think, and then as I get used to it, it will make more sense. I already lost where this fucking thing it was building checker. So like when they click this button, it needs to check that these are true, and if both of those are true, and then it needs to go do something else. Uh, or we can make them events. We're gonna need a public, or we can do events, but then he's got to subscribe to each event, and then each event has to check its own thing. It's like such a weird, like there's a lot of uses where I thought it would be cool, but it's less cool than I thought. And then these things are still intertwined, which isn't necessarily bad because these things kind of do need to be intertwined because they need to, everything needs to fucking break if they don't break. And we're just reading the thing. Um, Once again, if you know what the best practice, if this is supposed to be a capital I or a lowercase I, tell me. I googled it and it gets confused. So this is going to build button we have attached here, don't we? It just is popping on the are you sure? Because that's it. Wait, we don't need anything on the build button. This doesn't need to do anything. Because this is a useless script. Because we put it all in that building confirming thing, which was under UI building build button. We don't need that anymore. We could have put a thing on there. Oh, we should have saved that actually, now that I think about it. Because it shouldn't get to the you are you sure? Alright, let's put it back. Let's get rid of this thing so it's less confused. Then it would let you get to the yes, are you sure? UI build building build building button. I know I keep joking about that, but it really, or you know what we should call it actually is build, because that's what it's really doing. It's building a county improvement. And I know they're all buildings, but they won't always be buildings. They might be other things. Just right now, they're buildings. We need to pop this open for real this time. I think it's going to be all fucked up. Yeah, it is. Let's rename this. Not really rename it. We just want to get it so we can select it. Go down here, because this has to be here. Get this shit out of here. And we don't need this shit. And if what are you doing here? Oh, we need a something. This is gonna called. We need a method in here. A public void build county. Oh, this is all caps. Build county improvement button. And then in here, why are you doing? What are you doing there, buddy? What are all these lines? IntelliCode. I'm not sure why it's suggesting that. Am I doing something dumb again? It really... We don't have any things yet. Any variables. I don't know. I'm sure it will tell me what my issue is soon enough. So if you click this and enough population is equal to true and not enough and it's false. Influence is equal to true. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. God, it's still asking for that. Then we're going to... So when that button's clicked... Why is it all upset, man? It's bothering me. Let's save this. Let's cut this. Was there like some weird tabs in there or something? There we go. There's something weird in there. This is going to turn on... This is going to be a game object. This is going to be yes button. No, it's not. It's going to be you sure panel. And this is going to be are you sure panel equal or dot set active. It loves to put false in there as well. I don't know why. It's like, is that a good default? Everything should default to false. Else, it's going to say, it's going to, whatever, there not enough resources panel. I don't know why we're checking this again, but we are. See, the thing is, we already have this. Somewhere else. So it seems weird to have to drag these in here too. I don't know. Maybe I need to go. We're gonna have to go through all of the code again. I know that probably 2 or 3 times, and then like where is this stuff attached? Can we just do this once and pull it from here? Are you sure panel? We don't have anything stuck to there, so I guess we'll just do it this way. It's like we're duplicating stuff. Okay, so if this is true and that is true, then this is going to be like that. Where do we set this back though? We need to set on enable. This needs to be false, and this needs to be false as well. And then yeah, so when this panel comes up, we need to that always needs to be false. Then it will start checking this shit, and it will set it true or not. If you close the panel and reopen it, it will set it back to that. You can't hit build without the panel being closed. Build button. Are you sure? This we don't need anymore. Instead we need, where did we stick this script? Nowhere. It's on nowhere land. We don't have to do it this way. We could just go here. Oh wait, no, we can't do that. I got all these weird things have appeared. I wonder what this is from. I must have accidentally. Oh, Jesus Christ, we added one of them. Now we need to add a component here. That's what we want. We'll put the component on itself here. So now, oh wait, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Where did we go? Are you sure panel? Not enough resources panel. And then we'll save that. This may seem a little crazy, but in the inspector, these are in the other order. So I'm just gonna put them in the right order here since they're in, the different order. So we're gonna make that the same order. I don't know if it matters. It matters to me. Everything matters to me. Okay, so now if we go here, we go here. We don't have enough employees. So if we hit this, it should say you don't have enough. Nope, it did not. Because this never gets checked. This never gets checked because um because we haven't pushed any buttons. Or 0 is okay. 0 is probably okay. Let's think about this here. UI building checker. Where was that? Where were we doing that thing? Did we move that up to here? No. UI building checkers now. See, now I can never find anything. Because I keep having to rearrange things. Holy shit, an hour's already passed. We haven't done anything yet. We have to make this so that it 0 is not enough. I'm gonna go smoke real quick though. The building checker is. I should have broke this into 2 things so I could see it. This is dominated fixed. I think I already fixed this. I did already fix that. We'll put a little note up here. And then down here. And then I like to, like I said, keep these like that. If I think what's gonna happen. Wait, how often is this checked? This is checked when current workers is changed. But we didn't change any. Oh, on enable. It runs through there and it subscribes to all those. I don't know. Let me take a quick break and I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw my break timer. I'm sure something weird will happen. I'm having. That was not the weirdness I thought would happen. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right, so while I was outside, I was thinking probably another 75 hours is all we need to get to version 0.01. That's it. And then we'll be ready to go for the first, it will be a workable game. It will be a piece of shit, but it will be a workable game. So I was thinking, can we do it right here? If this is less than this, and where are we setting the number of people? We're just changing the text box. No, we're is greater than and unemployment. Let's put this down here. And unemployed is greater than 0. Then this gets fired off. Then enough population is true. No. Is equal to 0. Equal to 0. If this is less, if unemployed is less than current workers and is equal to 0. Why the fuck is this working? If unemployed is less than current workers, okay, so it's going to go through this and count, and that's going to put unemployed is going to be like 3 or whatever. So this is not right. We're not using this variable. So like this would be 3. There would be whatever, 5 unemployed people. And so if unemployed is less than current workers, it doesn't work. If unemployed is, so if there is 2 unemployed and 3 workers, and you're trying to put 3 in there, it doesn't work. If there is 0, so or let's do this back down here again, or unemployed is equal to 0. There's not enough resources panel. Because you can't, no, it's not unemployed though. Current workers is equal to 0. There we go. That's what we need. We need this to equal is equal to 0. If that's equal, or if that's equal to 0, it doesn't work. And you get that, else you get the true. I hope. It took me a while there. We can look at it right here, though. We can minimize this thing. Or compress that. See, it's saying these are both true right off the bat. Oh, look at that. This also has, like, this is at 3. Wonder why that happened. And it's back to 3. What did we do? What did we fuck up? Well, let's take that out. We'll just stick it right here temporarily. What did I do? I say we because I want to have someone else to blame it on. Okay, what happened here? Guess we can make this a little bit bigger. Oh, it does this. If okay, that's the pretty obvious fuck up there. Um, it's gonna always change that to the unemployed if we put and 0. What is this? There's an else if. I've never wrote one of those. What is that? How does an else if work? It's like some basic shit. Once again, I gotta get back on my C# classes. I'm only level 4. It doesn't, I don't know how many levels there are, so it doesn't really. Code block to be executed when if condition 1 evaluates to true. Code block when this is false and this is true. Look how they have a typo in here. Who wrote this? um, it's so weird when I see websites like this. Are they just like scraping the internet and sticking this stuff in here? Okay, so this is. I think this is what I think we need an else if. And like I said, I've never written one of those. Uh, so I think we need it like we need this else if current workers equals unemployed. How does this fucking work? How is this working at all? At this point, I can't remember. Uh, we can take you out of here though. Cuts. It's the problem with my poor memory, my poor brain. Uh, so if this is false and this is true, that should become true. Let's see. Let's see here. Man, we're gonna have to rewrite this whole thing. Everything I've written is gonna go in the trash one day, and I gotta keep telling myself that because I feel like I've put 75 hours of work or something into this, and it didn't work. Oh, I didn't even look at this thing over here. These are firing off right at the beginning again. Let's see why those are those. So on the minute we open that, or do they happen? When does this change? Well, that's correct. Except that when is it checking this? Well, I mean, it's fine that it's checking it so early, but it shouldn't be bringing that up. Just making sure we got the right panels in the right spot, because otherwise that could be, a huge issue there. Uh, so let's go back and look. Let's run this again. Oh, do I have like ore in here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. um, that would be a problem. I wonder what the air, like the amount of errors. I know I mentioned this in other streams, but I do wonder how, like, what the amount of errors are normal for stuff like that. So if I hit build right now, it should say yes. Okay, so then if we put this to 1, that changes. So this is the whole thing: is we want it, they have to put how many employees. Oh, this is confusing though. And you know the other thing is this is checked now. Okay, so this is fixed, but we got to go back to this building check. There's a couple of issues with this whole thing. First off, I think one of the things we could fix here is by putting this here. That might actually solve, so each time it checks, it makes these false. So you know, it sets those false, and then you got to check, then it checks it again. But if you click the button again, I think that actually will solve that issue. They were just in the wrong spot. Once again, this thing pops off immediately. And if we go back to 0 here, okay, that goes away. All right, we need this to say something else though, because that's dumb. What the fuck is this? I don't want to look at that. This is dumb. We need to get like the text for this, the text thing. So we're gonna do a serialized field here. That would be nice, but this is not what we want. Actually, we don't want a game object either. We want a text mesh pro UGUI not enough resources text. That's why I always put a text at the end of this, is just so that, just for the confusion, just so that it's where there's no confusion, not enough, like when I'm doing stuff like this, even though you got to put text right there. We're just going to change this text to, shit, if we change that text though, we could have a different panel, I guess. I was trying to be lazy. All right, we'll just do a different panel. This is a different level of laziness. Like there's a way better way to do this. We would say we'd have one panel. Oh, we'll do it the right way. uh, we'll do it. Whoops. We'll do it private. Not enough workers panel. If if they're both true, set that active. Oh my god, are we gonna do another else if? No. we're not. If this is not equal to true, so if that, or why, I guess we could just do equals false, right? If not enough, and this is true, we're going to say not enough workers gets fired. Why would I want this like that? Why would I want that ever? Uh, so if there's not enough, if enough population equals false and this equals true, that fires. If I guess we could use an else if it would have to go through each one. If else, now that see here I go again with my crazy. Once I use something once, I want to use it all the time. But it actually it should go through these just like this. So if this one is true, and this one is false, then it's going to say you don't have enough resources. I was going to change the text on it instead of having an individual panel, but we might want to have like text or something, or sorry, pictures in the panel. Who knows? So we'll do it this way just because. And then can I just put else at the end, or are you not allowed to do that? You are allowed to do that. So if this one is false and this is false, I don't know if this is going to work how I want it to, but we'll do it. We'll do it and see. Hopefully, you know. Okay, so we are. Well, let's look. We have enough population is unchecked and enough. Oh, we don't have a. We didn't put that other panel in there. We're gonna have some issues. What is this build button or something? We need a new one of these, and we're gonna call this. Not enough workers. And this one. Workers. The reason why I want these to be different is because I think that we're gonna need one to say like you don't have enough. We're gonna have a third one here for the other. Not enough stuff panel is what we need over here. That's gonna be both. This one, and like I said, we could have just changed the text, but I think we'll want this slightly different here. So the build button should have not enough workers and should have not enough resources. And we'll put both below here. And no, we want both to be above here. And then this thing, when it fires off, I think it's on here, should be not enough both. Because they look different. They look wildly. It's whatever. They mean different things. I had to get all leaned in there. Okay, so with this one, if we go up to like here, okay, that's an easy fix. Well, let's stop it and put this here. The UI the UI stuff. I actually kind of wish I had tried harder with the UI toolkit because I would like to be able to so that's okay. And then we hit build and it said, yeah, it should say yes. Are you sure? We'll say no here. And then we'll go back to 0. You don't have enough workers. Let's go back to our controller and let's give ourselves 200 influence, not 2000, 200. And then let's test this with build. I don't know if it's, you don't have enough workers. You don't have enough resources. You don't have enough resources. You don't have enough resources. So we just found another issue. You don't have enough resources. The issue is this has always been above. Oops. Yeah, we don't care about that. That's why you got to test everything. Man, maybe it will take another 150 hours to get this done instead of another 75. I'm still feeling confident on 75. What's happening here is because we don't, we only wanted to check this once, not every time you press the button. And this every time the workers have changed, your amount of influence is not going to change. So we need to pull this out of here. And on enable, we should actually have check enough influence. We're going to call it influence for now. Nope, didn't want you to do that. Check enough. Building checker. I got to see where this thing is attached to. What the fuck are you doing? Where is this building checker attached? So if it's the building description is where we, okay, it is. We just want we just want the influence thing to be checked once. And then we will put this here. And then that should be good to go. So on enable, it's going to check for influence once. This is going to check for, it's actually population again. This is only checking for population. This needs to be at the top of this thing now. And we're going to do, this isn't resources at all. This is population. No, this is check enough unemployed. Unemployed. Okay, so now I don't think we're on the right path. I mean, we're on the right path, but I don't feel very confident. Oh, we forgot the most important part, which is to not give yourself enough influence. Okay, so we do building for shack. You didn't have enough idle workers or resources. So it checks that off the bat. I don't know if I'm unhappy about that or not. I feel like I kind of like that. It's like, hey, it tells you don't have enough resources to make it. It's kind of annoying though. Every time you open that to look at it, it would pop that up. So what would be the other option? The other option would be the build button. We would take this checkout, check enough resources would be completely removed until, and we would put that in the build button. It would be in here somewhere. So this is going to check for this. Let's get this out of here for a second, actually. This would be down there. This would be gone. This would be here. Enough influence would no longer be used over here. It would be over here. And this would be and then does this still have enough influence equals false? It would go through here. This would only happen when you click the button. We've really like decimated this other script. Remember when like script kitties were a thing? I don't know, have I graduated to script kitty yet? Kitty, you know, as in child, like script kid, not kitty as in cat. That's probably some other weird furry thing. Okay. So let's try this now and see what happens. We just move some code around. We don't have that thing popping up. We could change that so you don't have enough idle workers. This said, oh, because we have enough. We have enough. We have enough money. So let's change this to 100. That works. Well, let's test it. Let's go to another one now, though. Oh. Weird. Oh, you know what's happening is this is at 0. Wait, what's it doing? We got all sorts of issues. It's always these minor things. All right, I guess we're not going to be making more progress than I thought tonight. I don't know why I think that, why I always overestimate. Not always. I should have had, I looked at the things, I was like, oh, we're almost done with this. This is actually going to be like one, we haven't even gotten to the part where we move our lists around and stuff. Okay, so let's try to simplify the issue that we got. We got a whole bunch of issues. So let's put our influence as 0. And let's hit play, and let's make sure our influence is actually updating up here. And let's hit play. Just because I haven't noticed if it was. We haven't checked that in a long time. Okay, we have 0 influence. We click here. Click here. Everything is currently working. We're on the wrong thing that we want to look at here, though. We want to be down here. This is now down here, though. It's kind of a bummer. We click this. This is not enough influence, which is correct. And where was the other one? And not enough population has not been checked. So we click this. Now it's been checked. We have enough. This should actually be called workers. And then this pops up because we're trying to go over and we don't have enough idle workers or resources. So let's fix that. Let's fix that first because we're getting confused. I don't actually think we need this both at all. We can just delete that one. It's going to be 2 different things. So that should make us have an issue here with one of these missing. Yeah, not enough resources should be, whoops, not there, not that. Forgive me, stop. Not enough resources. And then let's fix that. Like, I gotta baby step this shit so that we fix the right thing. Man, the cat. Let's click a different one too. We've been clicking Forest Shack forever. Let's go 0. 0 doesn't do anything, which is fine. I mean, it's telling us -1, but it resets it to that. Let's hit max. You don't have resources. That's the wrong. Not enough workers. And then we'll change this text. Not enough workers. You don't have enough workers. For that, I guess. Oh, I should have renamed it. What did I call it? Workers? I think we might have to have another panel, or we need to be changing the text. Probably changing the text would be fine. I don't know which is more labor intensive for the computer or for me. I feel like with this, the UI is currently pretty out of control for how little that it does. Maybe let's do Fisher Shack this time. Max. Oh, we just fixed something? I thought we fixed it. Not enough workers. Not enough workers. Save it. Play it. Click it. Make it bigger. Forest Shack. Max. You don't have enough workers for that. Okay. But we can get to 3. Then we hit build. You don't have enough resources because we have 0. Now if we go to Garden Shack, it's setting it back to 0, which is what we wanted. Let's say we put 1, because that's enough. We have enough. We have 1 employee, and we have enough idle people. And then we hit build. You don't have enough resources, which is what we want. Let's see if we go back to Forest. Forest Shack is back. Let's go back to here. We wanted this to reset to 0. Let's go Forest Shack, actually. Let's put 2. We know we got enough there. We can go up to the controller. Let's put 500, because that's how many we need. That's exactly how many we need. And let's hit build. And then it says, are you sure? Well, now we fixed that. And then we click yes, and nothing happens. That's exactly what we want. Okay, but we hit no there. Let's see if we go back to like here. And we just say, hey, build. You don't have enough workers for that, because there's not enough workers assigned. And now let's say we go max. You don't have enough workers, so we probably are going to need to. Let's put that on our thing here for the next round. We kind of we kind of want to get this, keep moving forward. Building description panel. It probably needs 2 panels. One that says not enough workers assigned, and another. I mean, this wouldn't take that long to. Jesus Christ, let's just do it right now. Right? So 1, let's think about this. 1 is going to say you don't have enough workers assigned. Not enough assigned workers. Not enough assigned workers. And then the other, we're going to duplicate this. And then this other one, oh, I should have done that first, you stupid fuck. Not enough workers. Because one is kind of like saying, yeah, I could have done less work. Then, if we go build button, this should say, because it shouldn't pop up all that often. Not enough assigned workers. You know, I guess I did do something new today. I wrote my first else if. Maybe I wrote another one before. I don't remember ever writing one though. But who knows what how my brain works. Build button. Not enough assigned workers. And then on building description, not enough workers. This shouldn't be a baby of this other one. I swear to God, there's a way. You don't have, like. There we go. Okay, so that should take care of that. Let's double check. I kind of like fucking around with the list. The data stuff is kind of fun to me. I'm not sure. Let's hit this. You don't have enough resources. So this was the bug that we were encountering before. So part of my so when we hit this, it's maybe it's the else if. Maybe the else if is bullshit. It checks for influence. So did we even have enough influence? We had 0 influence. So both of those were 0. We're off. So both of our building things should have this enough influence was false, and enough population was also false, which is that works for this. Could we just, out of laziness, could we just go, like, would this work? So before, in the good old days, I would have done this just with 3 if statements, but I don't know. I feel like that's always dumb. So this one would be false. This one would be false, and this one would be true. For the final thing here. I think that's what we have to do. Sometimes I don't the cat's acting weird over there. Sometimes I don't like obviously think it through. It just kind of works. You don't have enough resources. That's what we wanted it to happen. So then let's put it up to 1. You don't have enough resources, which is what we want it to happen because we don't have any resources. I was about to say, fuck, we're broken again. 500. Are you sure you want to build the Fisher's Shack? And then we hit yes and nothing happens. That is exactly what we want. All right, so that is, I think those are all fixed now. Let's make sure that what is it? Control Shift S or some shit to save all. Control Shift S. It's like, it's hard for my little fingers to do it. All right, there we go. Control Shift S. Change idle. All right, so this was the next thing we were on to, but then we discovered when building is clicked, it should check to make sure you have the resources to build an item and at least 1 person building it. That's what we just did. We like jumped to that ahead of time. So let's mark that off. That was kind of miserable. It's that stuff that I'm not that into. It's, you know, it's not glamorous. It's not the glamorous stuff of like moving things and fighting and stuff. It's like you're fucking around with the UI. Once again, make another you know, that's why people probably don't want to do that stuff. Like I was thinking, you know, my brain gets burned out pretty quick with all this develop. Like 3 hours is pretty much the max for me. Sometimes I go like 4, but it's pretty rare. And I've been talking about like what are like full-time developers, you know, they do crunch and stuff and they have like all of this, they're spending hours and hours developing. They must get more and more um, inefficient. Like, so the first 3 hours they're pretty efficient, then it starts going down and down and down. And then I was wondering though if they've done it so much that like there's a poor fucker who's assigned to like the tedious stuff and it's just to him, you know, he's just writing if statements all day long that are just like, if this is true, print this text. If this is true, print this text. If the, you know, like a switch with 150 different things. So like it's not even, they're not really using their brains anymore. Like they're just doing it. And while there's like an upper group, like the head developers are the ones making the changes, and the other guys are just tediously typing that shit in. You know, it'd still be fucking miserable. It'd be worse. It'd be worse. But anyways, I wonder if it's kind of like that, especially because they're so experienced that some of the stuff that like where I struggle with, you know, like this thing I just struggled with, that for them, whatever this is, they're probably like, oh, there's like a thing you just type and it does, you know, it's 2 words and it does this whole thing. But they do the same like little things all day long. There's little changes and little add-ins that it gets crazy. Like I can't imagine doing this for a living. Living. I have one friend. I have a couple of friends who are developers, but most of them aren't developers full time. Like they do it as a side job or something. Except for one guy, and I haven't seen him in years. I think he, you know, left Earth because he was a developer full time. I don't know. Make another list of make another list of name and description. Okay, so I remember this one is. We probably want to do that as well. I don't know. We could do it right now, or we could jump into build button, change the idle worker next day activity to building. So this is the yes, are you sure? This is the building confirmation thing. Hopefully we don't ever touch that one again. Which is going to be, let's make sure. Oh, is this the one I just moved? Yeah, it's this script right here. So it's firing off a thing, an event. And the reason why we're doing an event in this, I think, I think, is because there's going to be a lot of things interacting. Like, first off, your influence is going to get changed. So let's just do that one. It's going to, you know, you're going to delete, it's going to remove the amount of influence when you click yes. So let's go to where that lives. So that's under here. And we need to subscribe to that, which I think we already did, didn't we? Didn't we subscribe to this on start? Set next day job, move building current building. Let's do move building from, or no, to current building list, I guess. I don't know why I'm breaking these up into little things, but that's the way we're going to do it. We're going to charge, want to do one. I mean, I guess we could just do. We could have 3 different things inside this one thing that we're subscribing to, instead of having these different subscriptions to the same thing. I'm not sure once again with the best case scenarios. Building is what we'll build. County improvement. That's what this will be called, and then we'll put all of these things. We'll put the different things in there. So we're gonna have that one. We're gonna stick this method inside here. this method inside here. No, not like that, but it's okay. No reason to get upset. And the first thing is we're going to put here is deduct cost of building. And we'll add a new one of these things. And this is going to be kind of janky because we currently only have one building or one cost. It's going to be a lot more crazy when we get farther on here. The only cost right now is whatchamacallit, influence. So under faction, and there's only one faction, and it's actually in here, so this isn't going to be that big of a deal. Influence equals good God, I can't remember how to do this. It will tell me faction influence minus building cost. So that building cost is going to be possible buildings dots. No, we need to have what number that possible building is. So we're gonna need. So even though this is being fired by an event, we're gonna still need to pull. We're still gonna need to pull from this. This one, I think. What? No, it's not. It's gonna be. I don't remember what script it was. It's this one. And this is a public, where it's private right now, but we're gonna need. So even trying to just. Oh, and this fires something. That's only on change though, and we're just reading it. No, not there. What am I thinking? We need to return. We need to get this. But so see where I'm like, this is intertwined regardless. You know what I mean? Was that panel? That was panel, not. Oh, I thought it was going to tell me. I was almost positive it was going to tell me, like, I think it's equals minus. I can't remember. I literally did this, well, it was like 3 weeks and 3 weeks ago. There's a, I think it's equals minus, and then you put, yeah, it's this thing. Oh, it's minus equal. I just want to see an example to make sure that that's what. I literally did this the other day. This whole class. It might have been this exact class that I did. Yeah, it's minus equal. I just like my brain is so shitty. Okay, so we have a couple of things that are that might matter, that might do things. All right, let's test this real quick, and then I'm going to take a break. We need to make sure we have enough here. We need 1,000, whatever. We'll say 750 just to have a different number up there. And we should be able to go to here. We should go to Forest Shack. It costs us 500 influence. We hit build. You don't have enough workers. Oh, well, let's fix that. You want to build it? Yes. Okay, so that worked, but we need to have this thing update. So this is going to be another event, actually. And once again, I don't know. Maybe the player faction should be its own thing. And wonder why I put this in start instead of awake. Let's put it in awake just and see real quick if that implodes. I have a general idea of why I might have done that. Let's see. I was gonna take a break, and then look how it looks like I haven't done shit because we've been modifying the same files. I like it when there's like a huge list. What was I doing? We were just checking if that imploded, which it didn't. It seems like we just need to have that null thing in there to solve some of those issues. Okay. I guess let me take a break. What were we fucking doing? Build county improvement. Deduct cost of building. Which is what we just did, but we need the building. Basically, we currently have the faction. So this is the thing. We have multiple factions. If we look in here, there's going to be a faction for every AI player, but it might be better to have. You know what? Let's not worry about that right now. I was thinking we would want to maybe right now just have like a player faction versus AI factions. I think let's not worry about it right now. It's going to be an issue later. But once again, we're going to have to go around. Man, maybe it's going to take more than 75 hours to get the base game done because we're going to need some AI stuff in there. And that's going to be uncharted territory for me. These currently have nothing in there. What would be different between a player faction? I mean, we don't. So there's going to be like 500 of these counties when we're done with the game. I guess we're not counting through them every time. Let's not think too far in the future and get stymied. Is that the word? By our whatever here. This is the same as this. Okay. All right. Let's go back. I'm just gonna put this where we're gonna do this. We need inside faction. We're gonna set up another event, and this event will fire off changing the. We'll have the top info bar. Subscribe to it. And we could actually do this for a lot of different things, but that's what we're gonna do when I get back from my quick break here. It'll be fine. Everything will be great. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sidetracked. My brain hurts all of a sudden. I literally have a headache. I'll be right back. All right. I am back. I was trying to think outside, like how long would it really take? I was kind of like those guesstimation, those hours is kind. I was trying to turn on my music. Is kind of um 75 doesn't seem that unrealistic since that's about what I'm up right now. It's 78 or something. Uh, for the player part, the AI part's going to cause like a rewrite of a lot of this. I guess it's unimportant at this point. You know, I don't want to get demoralized. That's like getting demoralized seems to happen pretty regularly to me. So let's avoid that. I also get burned out on uh, programming, so I'm trying to avoid the burnout. It is fun learning new stuff, and I have been learning new things like every other stream or something, or using something new. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to make a getter setter. Uh, First, we're going to rename this. This is my trick here to influence, and we'll rename them all to influence, and then we're going to rename this back, and that's going to break everything. And this should be, whoops, we forgot an int here. My music's too loud as well. I don't know what happened. It's way too loud. It's like, I thought it was loud before, and all of a sudden it's fucking insane. Uh, Whoops. Now I'm lost. What am I doing? Here we go. So this is going to be public influence. We need this thing. We need get. No, get is what we want. There we go. And we'll leave it like that, even though I don't like that at all. I don't like how that looks. I don't know why I'm like a stickler for things being like this. Who the fuck knows why? Okay, so then this is going to fire off. We already figured out that we could do this in another one. We're going to fire off a thing here. We need to put the thing up here, though. We need to put it. I don't know. Where did we put it on that other one? Where was that? What was that other one? Possible building? It was possible building. We put it at the very top. Let's put that at the very top as well then. I just want to keep it consistent, Public events, action. The action is going to be influence changed. What did I call the other one? Current workers changed. This needs to be a capital I though. And then under here, we'll fire off influence. Yep, that's exactly what we want, my friend. And then down, where did we put it over here? Once again, consistency. We just have the invoke thing there. Don't forget the invoke thing, because that fucked me like 1,000 times. Wait, what are we doing? Oh, right, we got it. The invoke thing comes here. Question mark dot invoke. And I think, is that it? Is that all have we really gotten that amazing with this shit? Okay, so that's going to invoke that. Then we go back to world map load. And what were we doing? We were banking a bunch of stuff here. We need to subscribe to it though and awake. We're going to go, and this may fuck stuff up. So we will go. How are we subscribing in that other one? Because it's a list. The list is here. It's not possible buildings. It's factions. Dot influence changed. No. Yes. Influence changed. Plus. No, I'm doing this wrong. When that changes, we don't want it here. We want it in the top bar. The top bar needs to. Does that even have a script? There's no script. No, there is a script. I was like, man, there's no script for the top bar. What? Oh, that's what we were in. Wait, am I doing this backwards? No, we have some other thing happening. This one's just varies. We have some other getter setter. Oh fuck, have we been subscribing to the wrong stuff? Oh, we just had a getter setter that whenever this changes, we just put the text in. So we don't even need this faction thing. We just need to subscribe to the right. Wait, what are we doing? Influence.text. Oh no, when we're changing influence, we're changing this with the getter setter, which we're changing. Why did we do it this way? Is this the best way to do this? I don't think this is the best way to do this anymore. Look, this one's private and these other ones are public. Oh, and that's why those zeros were there. So what I'm talking about is there's these zeros here, and I was wondering why those were there. Let's think about this, though. I'm just fixing this, but let's think about this. There might be now my music's too low. I'm just unhappy at all times. Sisters of Mercy, huh? Why do we have these here? Why does this exist? Because we were having stuff access these guys, which would trigger this thing. But instead, I think since we just put that, so what we could do instead of this, I don't think we need this at all. Well, let's comment it out first. I like destroying code too. That's my second favorite thing to do here. Let's destroy that. Let's destroy this. And then what will happen instead is on awake, we'll subscribe to the world map load dot factions 0 dot influence changed, and then plus equals we'll just say update influence text. It's not how you spell influence. All right, what isn't like this? Oh, we need instance in here. And then this, we know why it doesn't like that, because it doesn't exist. And then we'll just copy over this down here. So now anytime well, I guess we would need to do, how are we doing it up here? How are we getting this stuff? Are these not connected? No, they're connected somewhere. Let me just make this so that this doesn't have a bug real quick. I guess we'll do this. Dot instance dot fluxion faction 0 dot influence. See, it's still reading this thing every time. So we're still reading that stuff. I guess we're not changing it. Reading might be okay then. Okay, so first run top bar. So this happens on a wake, I'm assuming. It happened. Oh, what is this song? Wow, I've heard this song in ages. Popple Eat Itself. I used to have this album when I was a kid. My question is, will, if we comment this out, will it update the influence when it subscribes? Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll see if this changes. Where is this? So we have the influence. Well, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't do it. So this influence is a wrong thing. Where are we? I closed it for some reason. This influence is 750, so it hasn't changed. Did we get any bugs? No bugs. So like, I think this is a better way to do this. Like to have an event that is triggered every time influence is updated. This reads the influence and updates it. That seems like a better way to do that. And then when we figure out how we're going to track what player faction you are, actually, you know what? There's a better way to do this actually, and it's really simple. For when we get multiplayer, we'll just from now on. Where the fuck is our? And I was thinking about this earlier. We can just. So when there's multiple players, you know, they would be getting assigned 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Whoops. And that would be assigned here, wherever we just did that. Where the fuck did we do that? Jesus Christ. Right now, this will be just some temp shit when character creation and multiplayer and all that. Then we can just stick this in here, and we don't have to. It's gonna bug out later. But it will work. It will work for now. We'll just leave that there, and then, you know, when you create when we have multiplayer, whatever. That's so far off that why am I even worried about it? But it's a zero. It's a zero. Okay, so whenever influence changes under this faction, it's going to update this string or this text, which is what we want. We could leave this in play, but I feel like this isn't necessary. We just need this to fire off one time. Let's leave that there temporarily though. World map load on. I'm too far, or I can just click up here on first run top bar. I think I was trying to be clever here. These are public. We could just update it on the first run. It seems weird to update all that stuff on the first run. The other way we could do it, but once again, this is gonna make this useless. having the ability to type in here useless is we could assign the amount in this list. And when we hit play, stuff does get assigned in here, but this overwrites the shit, I think. Yeah, see, this already gets the name and the color of the thing, but it doesn't get the influence and stuff doesn't get put in there. What script is this in? I think this is in World Map Load, of course. But where are we assigning the colors? Assign faction name and color to faction. I mean, it's kind of nice to be able to just type that shit in right here. I mean, it is nice to put it in there, but I don't know if it's necessary. Because we have all these other things. There's also that fear that I have, just in case you're wondering why I have so many of these things hard coded in right here instead of like doing it in the inspector. Is one time I moved some files or something happened and all this shit was missing and I had to go through and recreate it at the beginning of his stream, and it was a real bummer. A real bummer. So let's make a decision here. We could either leave that getter setter in place. Let's just leave that in place for now, but we're gonna need to make a fucking note about that shit. Because I'm gonna wonder what the fuck this was later. Yeah, this is gonna be more than a note. Where is this gonna be? What? I guess we'll put it over here and we'll figure it out later. Are 4 getter setters that probably could get replaced with events. Let's put some other, that's enough for me to know what that is, I hope. No, I won't know what it is. I'll forget what this is immediately. But let's put in here some more details of what we just discovered. Let's see, on top bar first run, it sets the player resources, and even with an event, it doesn't update on first run because the amounts are serialized in the inspector. I'm not gonna know what the fuck this means. Well, it's there and maybe it will come back to me when we get to there. Now I think this should still work. I think that we can replace those though with events and then just assign this stuff on first load. This is actually going to be this is going to be getting pulled from a file, honestly. Yeah, that works now. This is going to get me pulled from a file. One character creation will. Let's put that in there. Character creation is probably going to solve this problem. Edit. Man, character creation is going to be kind of fucking shitty. Because so what we're gonna do, whoops. What we're gonna do with character creation is it's gonna be a different scene. We're gonna do all the character creation, and when you hit like I'm done with character creation, basically, it's gonna save all the information for your character to disk, and then on this new scene, it's gonna load all that stuff, and so these will be getting updated. So that will actually probably solve this whole thing. Character creation is on the list. Actually, maybe it isn't on the list. Is it on here anywhere? I don't think it's even on this list. We got 40 items though. Some of them are dumb though, like population list is huge, but make them smaller. Like that won't be that big of a deal, and we might get knocked out as we go. But back to this list. What did we just do? We made it so, well, let's make sure it works. What we were trying to do is make sure that this amount leaves when we hit yes. So we got 750 influence. We're going to put one employee. We're going to hit build. We're going to hit yes. And then what happens if we hit yes again? Oh, God. We got a couple of things that are happening here. First off, yes. Yes should close. This puppy here should be closed. We just want the game object to set active there. So let's hit play again. I don't know what we got going over here with these comments or these debug logs. It's almost worth it to not have that pop up and just have it go to 3, but whatever. And then if we go to here, oh, it's still open. Does it? Oh, it does update everything for us though. That's nice. Um, okay, so we gotta close 2 things. We also gotta close. Are you sure? Let's save this. I worry. I don't know what the fuck this is for, so let's get rid of it for now. If we remember it later. So this is how I work. I don't, if you watched any of my other streams, but I comment out the first thing, and then next time I, notice that there's some commented line and I don't know what it is, I just delete it. But right now, I might look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is for testing of this one thing. We might need to do that again, and then I keep it. But next time I probably know why the fuck is this here, and I'll just delete it. Okay, so I got sidetracked deleting that because I love deleting code as well. Okay, so we click this. We click this. We say Fisher Shack. We put one person on it. We hit build. We say yes. Bam, that shit closes. We open this up. Now it shouldn't let us build this because you don't have enough resources. That was actually surprisingly awesome that didn't work. I mean, we wanted it not to work. Okay, so the next thing is you've hit build on this thing, and we need to move that thing out of that one possible buildings list and add it to. We might actually get this. No, it's too. We only got 30 minutes left. What was I doing here? Build county improvement button. I thought I had some like events that I was setting up for all these things over here, wasn't I? In world, I think we might need to tear this into 2 parts. I keep thinking this is unsubscribe. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Building confirmed. Okay, this is the yes button. So sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Building confirmed fires off. which is building and build county improvement, is actually going to deduct the cost, which we've done. Let's move this up one, because I want to do that next. I don't know. Move, and we're going to move this up, which is currently empty, just because I want to be able to see it. You know, these things, like, it's probably not necessary to see that right there. But the first thing we got to do, and this is what I was like kind of, this is going to be a different issue. Maybe I'll just, what time is it? It's 7:30 already. I want to stream a video game later tonight. I don't know what video game I have planned. Let me look at my list real quick for that. I have a list for everything. Monster Breeder? Monster Breeder sounds pretty good. What did I play last night? Oh, Phantom Brigade. Yeah, Monster Breeder sounds really fun. Maybe I'll go a little bit over. I just don't want to stream till like 6 hours in a row. I get tired, you know? I'm an old man. I can't believe that. I was gonna say I can't believe that I haven't died yet. Live fast, die young did not work out. It was live fast and get old, and not live fast and live slow. Moving buildings to current build list. So basically, what we want to do is this possible building is no longer a possible building, so we need to remove it. So let's go, and it's in this list. So let's go. First things first. I've never removed something from a building or from a. I don't even know how to do this. I've never done it. Here's another new thing. Oh, is that how it works? You just put in the number? I got so excited. Currently selected county. No, it's under. We have this somewhere. It's not there. We have it under right here. UI building panel dot instance dot possible building number. This is the thing we were looking at earlier. So we're gonna remove this, and then what? It's just gone. Does that work? I don't know. I'm very sure of myself. Man, this headache is killing. I took some Advil. Thought we were stuck for a second there. Man, I can't believe. Well, it doesn't matter. OBS issues. So we're gonna go to the Fisher Shack. We're gonna put on one. We're gonna hit build. We're gonna hit yes. And I don't know if that worked or not. I was hoping. Okay, we gotta think how this works. This is the possible building panel. Possible building compress button scroll view. It's kind of a weird. I wish I could. Can I just move this up a little bit? I would like this to be above this. That didn't fuck anything up. So let's do that in real life here. That was just a simulation before. Do we have a script on here? We do have a script on here. What are we trying to do? We're trying to make that building disappear when you hit it's back to this guy again, huh? Let's look at this while it's playing. I think we have a list of cloned game objects or something. Oh, this is getting it from the research tier. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. So the goal is, so this is going to be interesting. This is getting it from a different list though than I thought. and it generates this list every time we open every time. Wait, no, it's not. This is happening one time. It creates all these things and then it blows them up. That doesn't seem right. And how is this working? Why does it, when we close it, why does it ever come back? It seems like we would close it and then they would all be gone, but they're not. All right, this is the wrong list though. We've changed things since then. And we actually, I don't know why this is this way at all. I mean, I know why we did it. It's just I don't know why it's not working. It should count through them all and destroy this. Oh, because these are being instantiated. I bet you this used to work, then something stopped working. Well, we can get in the time we got left. I got like 20 minutes or so. Maybe I was all excited. Maybe we'll go a little longer, and then I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, no, fuck no, we got so much to do. This might actually be an easier task right now. Change the idle workers next day. Let's see if which one. Okay, so for the set next day job is basically what it's gonna do is it's gonna go through. We're gonna have a for loop. Do we still have this? Yeah. Not done. Done for influence costs only. Man, like thinking about the amount of code we're gonna have to write. So we want this for loop to just to like for to fix all the things that I've left all hanging in the wind, blowing in the breeze. Uh, we want this to actually be less than unemployed, but of that one, was it the building checker? Yeah, is unemployed even a? It's not even a thing though. We have the instance going. Is this gonna fuck everything up? I don't think it will if we just move this up here or make a copy of this up here. Because it's, whoops, make a copy of it up here. Because that's going to set that number. We're going to be reading, only reading that number again. UI top bar, I think we're done with for tonight. Faction, we might, I don't know. Current building, we're probably gonna not be doing tonight. Let's who gives a shit. Let's go back to this. So that was UI building checker dot instance dot unemployed. Oh, I got another crazy song. It's I'm getting some good songs tonight. My random thing on on YouTube. Laurie Anderson, she does a song called "Oh Superman." You should check it out. It's fucking bizarre. Uh, so we wanted to go for next day of job. We currently wanted to go through the 3 people. How many unemployed people we got? We have 3, let's say. And it should go through and we're going to have it change those top 3 of what their job is. And this is what we're kind of starting here. This actually might not be that terribly painful to do. Currently selected. This is, we're in world map load. I wonder why this is getting so. Oh, because we don't have this equal into anything. Equals. We need a new, didn't we do one? Oh, we are gonna have to look at all text. All text. Yeah, we have it building. Jobs.building is what we want it to be now. I don't know why I do that so much tonight. Maybe I do it all the time. Jobs. Oh, I forgot the most important part. All text dot jobs dot building. This is not name. We actually don't want this. This is going to be activity. Next activity is what we want that to be. Okay, I'm gonna clear this flashing thing here. Don't worry, I'm gonna message him back. He asked about what I thought of Distant Worlds. The first Distant Worlds game, Distant Worlds universe, is amazing. The second one is not very good. Okay, so this should change next activity. But how did we set up this diction? Like, what is going to cause their population to change? So currently, when I say population, if we hit play here, man, that has been getting longer each time I hit play. This is the list that we want to change for today. It should be scavenging. Tomorrow we want building, and it's gonna actually just be like it will just. We only have 3 people to do it with right now, but I don't remember how we're changing those. So once again, we're having to like go back and fix things. So the population info panel. We kind of fucked with this the other day a little bit. Like yesterday, or whatever, Sunday. Yeah, we just added this in. Oh, this is part of the list, huh? Is this in? No. I think we're doing something wrong. I mean, I know I'm doing a bunch of shit wrong, but I think we're doing something else wrong. Not here. I mean, this works. I think it's with how we're setting up these events and lists. There's got to be another way to do this. So let's say we want to update this population. Are these population list clones getting destroyed? Doesn't look like they are. This is for the normal population in the county. What are the? Oh, these are instantiating. Okay, so this is they're getting instantiated. This is so when you click. Let's do this again here. Actually, maybe this isn't. I don't know. So we click this population. These are changing. And these are these. Oh, they're down here. What am I doing? Viewport. These are prefabs that are getting put into here. So I'm thinking, all right, so let's think about this. Is there a script on this prefab? I mean, I would assume so, but let's make sure here. It's called, yeah, we've gotten into like the nothing's easy anymore. Horizontal population group. Yeah, Distant World Universe is really, really good. It's janky, but it's really good. The Distant Worlds 2 is such a disappointment. They just released some DLC for it too, and it's like the game was 1/10 finished. It would be like if I released this game right now and said, "Oh, next week I have some DLC out for it." It's kind of shocking, and it's fucking buggy as fuck. They've probably fixed it a bunch, but it's still buggy as all fuck. When I last time I played it, I actually took it on my list of streaming. I loved the second one or the first one. I took it on my list to give it some more time and let them work on it. And then they just released this DLC, which I don't know what the fuck is going on with everything. I want to stream Conan Exiles. It had $200 with a fucking DLC. I'm just not gonna buy it. I don't even. I don't. It's insultingly. I mean, I'm gonna stream it probably, but it's insulting how expensive the DLC is. Is it $200 or was that something else I was looking at? And I'm tempted to click on this and look it up, but all right, I'm not going to. We're gonna just keep on track here. Okay, so the only thing that is attached to that prefab is ways to access this. Why do I not believe that? How are we updating that information? And I know I looked at this the other day and I was like left scratching my head. Because it's just a public. It's not public static or anything. Let's go up a little bit. Let's double check. That's the only thing on here. It's the only thing on there. Oh, it must be a part of some list. Was that what it is? Is that what we're doing with this? Yeah, we're accessing it through. We're getting the components specifically. We're getting the components specifically. This seems terrible. This way we're doing this. Okay, so this first part. It's going through and it's adding all the leaders in, which we only have one leader currently, but it's adding all these in. It's getting each part. Why are these even like? Why do they even exist if we're getting the component? I need to stop saying I was trying to put this next to. Here we go. Oh, now I'm on the wrong thing. Current building we're not gonna do. We're done with that, I think. For now. County population for now. This is the one we wanted. Okay, okay, I see what we're doing. This was before I learned about the instance thing. So we're like literally getting. So this is all wrong. I mean, it works, but We're getting the component for each one. Which seems like I guess we do need that, and we do need this get component. Do we? If we put instance on there, though, it's going to be getting the same instance. No, it's not. How it's going to know in between the different ones. Sometimes there's reasons that you do stuff, but you can't remember what they are. Is there a better way to do this? So let's think. Their age will be changing, their name could be changing, their sex could be changing, their current activity and their next activity will be changing regularly. Currently, this just assigns them. And then it just lets and then there's nothing going on after that, which is actually kind of like that's how we set it up here. We might actually not be able to get to this either. We can't get to this either. Um, both parts of this are not easy. So let's go through this. Let's do our push and all that shit. Change idle workers next day activity to building, which is what we want to do. We don't have any bugs right now, do we? I don't think we actually like changed anything in this last step here. We just kind of looked around. Man, that is taking so long to do that part. Oh, can't look at this. Yeah, you don't own this county, fuck brain. Okay, so this still works. You have enough assigned workers for that. So you don't have to assign. So that's maybe something I didn't explain. You can have just one worker go into town on that. It's just going to take 5 times as long. Um, oh, we got an index. Oh, because I had that remove. I put that remove thing in there. Let's leave that in there, just so we don't get too cocksure. um, but I think otherwise we're in good shape for the push. Let's definitely save that, or the whatever it's called. That's saved. Those are the 3 things. Building event trigger, remove influence cost, move building from possible to current, change what the population is doing. So we just want the population, the population that we're using, and we're going to change around how that works eventually. But right now, that we just want the basics. So what did we finish today? We finished building button and building confirm work check everything. Check. I feel like I typed this last time. This is the exact same thing. Influence and influence cost and idle population all currently working. And then we'll commit this shit to there, and then we will push it. And then that is it for me tonight. With this channel, I may do Monster Breeder. The Monster Breeders are a good game. I know it's not that. It's pretty unknown, but I recommend checking it out. Let's see before I go real quick. We did all the pushes and stuff. I just want to see. I want to go to the store, but it doesn't. Actually, I do want to go to the store. You make monsters. You fight them in an arena. I just want to see when the update history was. February 25th. I think I streamed it. Yeah, that was a month ago. So there hasn't been an update since, but He's usually pretty active. Surgery. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. Anyways, I might stream that later. I almost positively will, but you never know. Might get tired and want to just go to sleep and cry or something. Anyways, that is it for me tonight. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you guys next time.